Mobile One.
So you may recognize this machine from one of my Canyonlands videos.
Flashers, and that's a horn.
Return signals, and a license plate on the back.
I think that's slicker.
All it was this kind of rock, and we rode for miles on this.
These are kind of the fun thing to do. It's a Wildcat 4X. It's a Textron bought out Arctic Cat, as you may or may not know. But we're going to do an alignment on it. You can tell it needs an alignment because what happens?
You turn, but you're supposed to be going straight.
So what we're doing first is we get all the tires the same pressure. If you're doing an alignment on a car, that is the first thing that you do, and that makes the vehicle sit evenly. It mostly helps with camber. But with this, it just helps you align the tires up easier. Plus, it's a good opportunity to make sure you got even tire pressure. That alone can help your vehicle to ride straight. So what I do is I look down the side of the tire. You can see it eclipses between here and here right now. So if it does that and you can still see the back tire, you know that this one's towed out just a little bit. Then we come to the other side and we do the same thing. And you can see that this one is also towed out. So between the two of them being towed out, and when you stand up and look across the top, because there's no fender, it's really easy to see that you got a tow out alignment. So if something is towed in or pigeon toed where the front tires are closer together than the back tires are, they call that a positive tow in. Positive tow or tow in. And the number on the alignment sheet will be a positive number. If it's towed out, it'll be a negative number. Your front wheel drive cars will be a little bit tow out, and your rear wheel drive vehicles like this is going to be a little bit towed in or positive. What we have underneath of it is we got some plastic, and in between each layer of these plastics it's been folded in half, I think 3 times. You see there's a bunch of white powder in it. That is not iocane powder, that is not cocaine, it's baby powder. And it really helps to make this slick. You can see that it really makes it turn pretty easy. And what that does is when we're adjusting it, you can bounce the suspension pretty much and make the adjustments to the tie rods. When you look here, you've got some lock nuts on each end of this thing, and then you can turn it by this where you can see that there's a little groove. You can turn it and make it longer or shorter with that. So the first thing we do is to just loosen these. Now on normal alignments, you'll have like a ball and socket joint on this for an inner tie rod end, or you'll have a drag link with a collar that you just turn the collar. And that's more the way that this is, but instead of having bolts that clamp it, if you're used to that, you just have these lock nuts. And the thing to note is that one of them's reverse threaded. It's the inboard side on this one. You just gotta be open to that, look for that. But because this machine's so new, look how easy it is to just get this thing to turn. I mean, you can just send it one way or the other really easily. Which is really nice. A lot of times when you get to these, they got a few years on them and they're just been through everything. Dirt, grit, sand, silt, and a little rust. So we got the tire pressure right, we center the wheel, we've got all of our lock nuts so that they are loose. So then what you do is look down here. Remember, this was tow out before, but with the steering wheel straight, so this is where you get your steering wheel straightness. You can see it's about to here. So what's going to happen is you adjust this, it's going to send pressure up this and make it crooked. We got a tool for that. There's an app for that. See where the app comes in, you apply it, you stick it under the steering wheel, or have your buddy just sit in there and raise up his big old quadriceps and hold it in place. So this one, being that it's towed in, might be because of the steering wheel, it might also be because I was messing with this, but turn it one way, turn it the other way. Watch this, it's like magic. You just keep turning it like that till they match. You can go back and forth, just kind of find where it's happy. Look at that. That took like 0 time at all. So then you'll just take your nuts, grab your nuts, tighten them up a little bit so you can keep that part of the alignment. Things can change. These little guys, they're not ball bearings with like lithium grease on them. They're basically just some powder and some plastic. They work, they help, but they can move a little bit. Even the ball bearing ones, as alignment guys will attest, move a little bit. See, look, this one it needs to come out. You can see that the tie rod is on the front side, so I'm watching the front to make sure that it moves this way. So as I move it, just give it a little crank, and bam, you're done. That took like 0 time at all. My dog's like, what? My dog's name is Zero. So we'll tighten these up. You want to drive it. Anytime you do an alignment, you'll drive it, prove that your alignment's good, and then if it's not, you just bring it back in and tweak it a little more. So I'll leave the plastic on the floor for a little bit. I'm pretty dang good, but I've also been doing this long enough to be humble. So we're going to drive it, see if we like it, and then put the plastic away. So when you're tightening these down, there's two ways to do it, two schools of thought. One, you can grab the wrench and just torque it until it binds out on the tie rod. That can pinch your boot and get a little trouble with that. Or you can put the wrench where it goes and then hold the collar really still and then tighten from there. This is the preferred method. This is the method that'll get you in business the best. Do make sure to tighten them up good, because otherwise your alignment can drift out of place and can even come undone in extreme cases. It's not going to happen, but I gotta warn you. You've been warned. So having been an alignment guy at a dealership and going through a bunch of used cars and aligning the crap out of all kinds of things that were shipped and mishandled and test driven into curbs, one thing I noticed is if I did a good job on the alignment, if I bounced the bumper up and down on the rack before and after and during adjustments, I got a better adjustment. So when you take this off, if this moves, you're probably not done yet. If it doesn't move, you're probably fine. We're probably fine. That's pretty straight. That's pretty good. Oh, you can got signals. Look here, you're so fancy. So if you get the alignment too straight, that's bad. If it's too perfect, it's bad. You want it to be, like on a rear wheel drive, you want it to be just a little go in. The best way to say thanks is poke subscribe right in the face and then click the little bell. If you want to be notified, you can be notified too. Thanks.